once and then you're done, you know.
All right, we are going live. All right, what's going on, guys? This is Chris Parsons. I'm with my co-host JP Flowen, and thanks again for joining us for yet again another episode of Success Agent Podcast. Well, we're going to talk about strategies to help you, the real estate agent, sell more homes while spending less time and money to do so with modern business tactics. You can catch us here live on the Success Agent Podcast Facebook business page. It's kind of a mouthful. Every Wednesday, every week. And you can even catch us on places like iTunes, Spotify, and a few others. You'll find those links just below this video. Now, this month, we've been focusing on the basics of business, such as setting priorities and really outlining your goals into actionable steps. And last week, we talked about keeping your efforts focused by really clearing out your database and really keeping everything clear and concise. Now, today, we're going to be further building off of that by actually talking about ways to increase your database size. And we're going to show you ways to plan ahead your lead gen, plan ahead your nurturing and your follow-up, and really getting the most value out of what you already have. And that's called strategic farming. So JP, we obviously aren't expecting our listeners or our viewers, I guess, depending on which platform, we're not expecting you to go into your garage, grab a rake and a shovel and just go start farming in your backyard. So what do we mean by strategic farming? What does that mean?
So basically strategic farming is, rather than taking, like my entire city is where I'm going to get my business, is basically breaking that down and saying, okay, who is my ideal client? Like, who would I just love to be working with on a regular basis? And who's like, what gives me joy the most on who I like to work with? Do I like to work with buyers? Do I like to work with sellers? Do I like to work with firemen? Do I like to work with the police folks? Do I like to work with, people that work at the hospital? Finding out what that niche is that you really, who your ideal clients are, and then figuring out a strategy to market to them specifically. So the biggest traditional way of doing strategic farming is picking a zip code or a neighborhood, or a particular, area of town that you want to be the expert in. And so then what you do is a lot of folks will door knock, they'll send out flyers, they'll do door hangers, they'll, spend all of their marketing efforts, the majority of those efforts on that specific neighborhood. So when someone thinks of, oh, I need to sell my house. Oh, I think I got a flyer around here somewhere, and they can try to dig it out and be like, that's it. That's the person I want to use. I keep seeing their stuff all the time.
Okay.
So that's kind of the idea behind, strategic farming.
So would you say it's like location based, or can you do niche specific? Like you can go on like LinkedIn, for example, and search. So like my background is nursing. So I could hypothetically niche into like healthcare professionals, right?
Yep.
That would be a way of doing strategic farming.
Correct.
Okay. Now, obviously that's going to be a little bit hard to like geolocate. So you'll be, I guess, more reliant on like technology such as like Facebook and LinkedIn. You can use LinkedIn for lead gen, but it's really, I guess, what makes it strategic is making sure you're actually talking to your audience. So making sure you have that copy down and you know what these people are looking to hear, so you can really, I guess, really like pick at their heartstrings, right? Like figure out what their pain is and keep nipping at it.
Yep.
So you're the guy that can solve that issue, that specific issue.
So a way of doing that would be is like, if you wanted to create a Facebook group of just healthcare professionals that can bounce ideas off of each other. And then a way of doing it really subtly is within your profile picture, just put in there that you're a real estate agent. You can use there's a pic collage is a really good one. You can just put like your branding in there with your face and your profile picture. And then you just go in there and just start rambling about whatever in the healthcare profession. And people will just be like, oh, I saw in your profile picture that you're a real estate agent. And then you open up that conversation without being too salesy And, you know, and you just constantly just be active in those areas, you know. Mine is a little, you know, my niche for me, you know, if I was going to start a Facebook group would be like musicians, because I was in a band for 7 years, and
Oh,
you
nice.
know, but a lot of musicians are broke and they ain't got any money and they just want to try to make it big. And so I don't know how well that would be effective in terms of trying to get them to buy houses.
That's the key, guys. You got to make sure you know your audience. If they're not going to be a good candidate for buying a home, I would probably select a different niche. You know, just like JP said, if they don't have money, they're not buying a house.
That's right.
There, you know. So one of the things I've been working on, I'm working on branding. Before I even like started putting in promotional materials out there, I'm actually like super focused on my business card. And I know, like, I don't know, probably like a year ago, I've been like, a business card, like that's just so stupid. Like, you don't need to worry about that. But I'm kind of looking at it as a funnel. And you can give different avenues or different actions for people to take, and it's catered specifically to what they're looking for. I guess this is the first time you'll be hearing it, so give me some critique. So I'm going under the guise of Broker of the North, kind of after like the Game of Thrones type thing, but I'm in Northern Colorado. My niche is going to be a younger generation, I guess, like millennials and up, and then it'll also help seep into, who's that, Generation Z? Is that after millennials?
Generation Z, like my kids are like Generation Z.
Yeah. So my whole goal is to be branded as Broker of the North. And my mom was like, well, who the hell is that? Like, who's the king of the North? What does that matter? Why are you going after that? And I'm thinking, you know, once they meet me, once I've drawn them into my funnel, into my sphere, and they've met me, I'm just Chris Parsons. You know, I'm not going to be going around like, oh yeah, I'm Chris, Broker of the North. You know, I'm Chris with eXp Realty, but it's enough to create some kind of interest to get them to follow through with some sort of action. And then on my business card, I've been like trying to think of like ways to make this more than just a piece of paper that's useless. With my picture on it, I look pretty and I have this logo, and I want something more than that. So I've included 4 links. One, which you guys can totally take this, it's totally cool. One is a link to my Calendly, so they can schedule for a free coffee. So it's literally like, so I got the domain, I'm pretty pumped about this, noco.info. So super short, super easy.
There you go.
Yeah, so it's noco.info/let's grab coffee. Takes them right to a Calendly page. They can literally book a time on my calendar. No threat, like they can cancel it if they want to, it doesn't matter. On the back of my card, I was thinking, you know, how can I make this a tool? How can I make this something that they go back to? And with eXp, and I'm sure any other website provider, you can create like landing pages or preset search pages. So like I have one that says open houses this weekend, and that's just a shortened URL. It says noco.info/open house. You could do what's my home worth? Everyone likes seller valuations, so that's also a funnel. It's noco.info/home value. And then, of course, with eXp, we want to bring more agents into what we're doing, because personally, I love this brokerage. I have, now this is going to be consumer side, so it's more so people thinking about joining real estate. So it's noco.info/become an agent. So that's kind of like where I'm starting at. Why don't you critique that? Is that something that you've done?
You know, I have, you know, and from what, you know, one of the things that I've discovered over the years is that the more busy that your business cards are, the more people will just throw them away.
That's fair.
So what I've done is I've basically just eliminated all of the garbage off my business cards. I even took my face off the business cards.
Yeah.
And what I've done is I spent all the money on the quality of the card, because it's kind of like this idea that, you know, if you go to a hotel and you get a plasticky card for your room and it's, you know, substantial, then it's a lot harder to lose.
Yeah.
And it doesn't degrade over time. So like if you're going on an extended vacation and you've got, you know, your key card for your room, you know, if you're using it in and out and all the time, you know, it's not going to deteriorate for your stay. So my idea is that if I spend more money on the quality of the card, so that when someone gets it, they feel guilty if they throw it away. So
Okay.
like for a while there, people were getting, you could get like really thin, tiny little like metal business cards,
Yeah.
and people wouldn't throw them away because they're just like, it's kind of
This is
like they
too
got to
nice.
hoard it and put it away, even though they're like, I don't really need this, but it's so cool that I just gotta keep it, you
Yeah.
know? And then for a while there was wood. You could get wood
Mhm.
business cards made. And, you know, same thing there. It's just like, it was so cool. So when someone would be like, here's my business card, it's like, dude, you got to check out this business card I got last week. And then you'd pull it out and then you'd show them and you're like, dang, that is freaking sweet. You know,
Yeah.
and then they would look at it and you're like, oh, who's that? You know, and then it would start a conversation about whose business card it was. And so I kind of did the same thing. And I bought some really high quality, dense business cards that when somebody grabs it, the first thing they do is go, wow, that's a nice card, you know, and then that opens up the conversation rather than, all right, okay, thanks, see ya, you know.
Hmm.
And so I don't have any email, I don't have any of that on there. I have a phone number, and they have to call me. That's it, you know.
Nice. Nice.
Because I
So,
think what happens is the business card is the engagement for the other stuff.
mhm.
So if you wanted to, you know, you could make the front of your business card simple and then put all of the other busy stuff on the back of the card. That way
Yeah.
you can just, when you hand it to them, they look at it and they go, oh, okay. And then you can say, oh, and on the back, then you flip it over and you start the beginning of your funnel. Because otherwise, I think the business card is just the opener, you know.
Right. I agree completely.
Because you know, and then you can follow up by having the conversation or be like, what's your number, let me send you my stuff, you know, or whatever, and have that
Yeah.
conversation. Because the business card, a static card, like you go to a restaurant, you finish eating, you throw your card on the table and you leave, you know, that's not really that effective. When they're cleaning up
No.
your table, they pick it up, they throw it in with the rest of that stuff in there, and they just kind of, you know, go from
Yeah.
there. So
Sure. Yeah. So I think that's all good points. I'm going to do some testing on this. We'll see how my business cards go. I'm planning on doing two types, one for already agent focused, like so they're already agents, and one for consumer focused. And my ones for agents, which is primarily just to, get the foot in the door, show them what EXP is about, see if it's a good fit for them. If not, that's cool. No threat. I think that one's going to be my simple, super simple card that's like, here's a URL. That's it. It doesn't have my name, doesn't have my face, doesn't have my phone number. Because honestly, in that funnel, that shit doesn't matter. No one cares about me. They're caring about their business and EXP. Now, I actually didn't mean to go into a tangent about business cards,
but
but
it's a way to
going
farm, though. It's being strategic.
exactly.
Yeah, you're
So
farming.
let's go beyond the business card, though. So we've talked about the front face funnel of just the business card, its role in a funnel. Let's go beyond that. So what I'm planning on happening is obviously I'm going to have my pixel on every single page that I'm broadcasting. Now, for those of you who don't know what a pixel is, it's kind of just like it's a piece of code that Facebook has that connects their advertising to everything else, and it helps track things. It's a cookie. And I'm going to have that pixel placed on all of these pages. So that way when people visit, like for example, my open house list or whatever, Facebook now knows to target that person with buyer ads or like buyer branding, not so much ads, but buyer branding. Same thing with home value. Going to do the same exact thing with a pixel placement. And then, yeah, obviously any other kind of funnels. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it big picture. And then you can even have like your different technologies, like your different CRMs and whatnot, actually tag those people when they enter the database. So then they can be followed up with a very specific nurture campaign. So now you're talking, we're talking like a front facing business card that just went from here's the static tool that has my phone number and email on it to, hey, you have my business card. I gave you some things to go look at. You did that. Now Facebook is following you, Google's following you, and I'm following you. And you're also getting hit from your inbox, your email, your text messages, your email, possibly even the Facebook Messenger bot, just all fronts. And obviously the goal is to just get a conversation going. They're not going to buy a house from me because I have an awesome Facebook bot, but my Facebook bot may get me that free coffee. Well, get them the free coffee, get me the appointment for coffee. Now you
Yeah,
can
and the ultimate goal with all of this stuff is, you throw out as much technology as you can to book the appointment,
exactly.
you
And that's
know.
the way to go, man. Automated Zoom, like for the longest time with my consulting clients, I would literally type in the event in my calendar and then have to copy and paste the Zoom 5 minutes beforehand. And if I was 5 minutes late, I would beat myself up and feel really bad about it. I didn't have any reminders set. And then it's like, dude, I paid $10 a month for Acuity, does it all for me. They can
It's
book
pretty
their
sweet.
appointments and Zoom sends everything their way. It's amazing.
Can't beat it. Best $10 you ever spent.
Exactly. So what other things do you do for strategic farming? You can do mailers. I'm obviously focused on the personal interaction right now. I'm focused on the personal interaction where I literally hand them the business card and give them something to do with it. What are some other farming methods beyond just like mailers?
Well, just to touch on mailers real quick, anything that's worth doing, you got to do it for a year.
Yes, I've heard that very much.
Especially when you're talking about farming, like, you know, or you've got to, and I mean, I've heard stories of people sending out, they send out 50,000 at a shot.
God,
Yeah, I mean, if you're
sounds
looking
like a
for
waste of
now
money.
leads, farming is definitely not a now leads thing.
No.
Buffini says, well, you can farm your past clients. You just farm your past clients by running over there and dropping off little goodies and stuff like that and getting face to face. And that's great if you have the time. I know that when you're trying to scale your business, so you're going from, being an individual to being a team to, eventually having a large team or even starting a brokerage or or having a team that competes with your brokerage, you definitely can't be running around town all day long, dropping off
No.
little goodies because you just ain't got time for that.
No.
So,
Hopefully
so
not.
the big thing is really comes down to uh, what niche that you enjoy. I know where I
Mhm.
used to work, there was a gal there that loved to just do all the running around and doing event planning and doing all this kind of stuff. Me, on the other hand, I would rather spend my time, trying to automate as much of this as possible, which is kind of the purpose of this podcast, is
Yep.
to try to automate as much as you can and then face to face. So
Hmm.
you funnel everything down to that appointment, So when you're doing flyers or mailers or whatever, copy is huge because you have to have a good call to action.
Yep.
Another way to farm is through radio. You know, you're specifically catering your audience to the older generation on AM radio and having good copy and radio, and a
Yeah.
good call to action. Buy with me or sell with me or sell for free. That kind of deal. Sell with me or it costs you nothing. You
Okay.
know,
Yeah.
and so that way, basically if but people that do that one, they already know that if they don't sell it, they don't pay you because it's doesn't cost them anything to get
Yeah.
a contract. So but I mean, but again, it's all psychology. Like you got to make sure
Yeah.
that what you're doing, you're catering to the psychology of your audience. There
Yeah.
is a company out there called 3D Mail
Uh-huh.
that will combine the mailer and the Buffini going door to door with the gifts and stuff. And it's all little gifts that will fit into the envelope.
Right.
Kind of like when the March of Dimes, they would do their thing and there'd be a dime in there.
Yeah.
So they would do stuff like, you know, spring into, you know, fall or whatever, and they'd have a little spring in the thing, and it's just something cheesy, but it's like when you grab,
Sure.
when you grab an envelope and you're like, what the heck is in there? You're gonna open it, right? You're gonna figure out,
Exactly.
oh, spring, like what does that mean? And
Yeah.
it's like, ooh, scavenger hunt? No, not really, but but it sparks that idea of like hey, when you see those envelopes that look like some sort of tax document, you always open it up and they're like, ha ha ha, not a
Yeah.
tax document. Thanks for calling, you know.
So actually, I want to see next level Pokemon. I don't know if like it's still a big thing, but I believe that VR type interactive games will be a big thing. Be it Pokemon, Resident Evil, Game of Thrones, whatever. I would love to see because it's getting people out and about. Obviously, they're like walking in different areas. to literally somehow advertise in VR, like, hey, check out this house. If you want to know more about it, just click this link and it's all in Pokemon. I would love to see that.
That would be sweet.
Yeah.
Pokemon Goify your
Pokemon Goify your real estate.
your buyer searches,
Yeah, exactly.
Get your phone out there and then it'll just, I think what's going to be is the opposite. I think what's going to happen is people are not going to ever leave their houses. They put on a set of VR glasses and they can walk the property. They can, everything.
We all
It's
got
going to be
legs,
like,
though.
what
People
was
like
that
using
movie
their.
where everybody has the VR treadmills in their house?
I haven't heard that.
Oh, you haven't seen that movie?
I was gonna say people have legs, but I guess you're solving that issue.
Yeah, no, they I can't remember the name of it. It's a movie that just came out, I don't know, 6 months ago, where people have these like 360 treadmills.
Okay.
And you literally put the glasses on and it puts you in a whole nother world. And you have a vest that you put on where you can feel things and everything, dude.
Dang.
And I
I
think
gotta
that's
see
what's
this.
gonna happen is you're gonna be like, sign up with us and get a free 360 treadmill, and then they're gonna ship it to your house, and then you can't leave because you have the exclusive rights to all the VR material,
Uh-huh.
and so then you just go on, you have like Google does where they have somebody that Google Maps everything. You have your own person that'll go and scan every house that's on the market,
Yeah.
in your area. And that's kind of like Uber. They just go to every house as it gets listed and it's a free service and they just go in there and scan it for this company.
Yeah.
And then as stuff comes on and off and people are buying houses from China that's never come to the States and they're just paying cash all day long, dude, that's going to be the way it is in the future.
All right.
And then as you're walking around in the house, virtually ads will pop up, and be like, oh, well, with your new house, you're going to need a new car. And then,
People
and
will love it.
and Amazon will pay for ads and say, oh, and in your bathroom that you're standing in right now virtually, you're going to need some virtual toilet paper too, right? Click this button now and we'll ship you a new, Hillary Clinton toilet paper roll. Wipe yourself with your favorite president.
or your least favorite, I think would be
or whatever.
All right, cool, man. So that was kind of fun. I guess we'll see where technology takes us. I still believe that humans will want to be humans and go outside. I don't think that what you're saying is wrong because VR is pretty badass, but I don't think it's going to be the end all. So I guess we'll have to see in years to come. But know it now on, what is it, January 30th? Yeah, it's January 30th, 2019. We're talking about it. All right, guys, we're going to end it here. Hope you enjoyed our little talks about like business cards and actually just being strategic and planning ahead with what you're going to do. There's no reason to spend all this time getting things set up, but not having an actual plan to really implement it or what's going to happen after it's been implemented. Without a plan, there's nothing to measure, and without measuring, you can't really improve. So key point, just think about what you're doing with strategic farming. Totally take our ideas. That's what we're here for. So we're just going to end it here. Next week, we're going to be talking about something a little bit different, really about building your team. Specifically, it's going to be social recruiting and team building. And we're just going to kind of talk about different ways that JP has been doing that for his team. He's had a team for how many years now?
We've been running a team for about 2.5 years.
Okay. So we're going to talk about like the startup portion and really things you could focus on to actually build a great team, not just a collection of people, but actually a cohesive unit. And we're going to be talking about how to do that socially so it's welcoming and fun and engaging. Until then, feel free to reach out. You can just reach me on the Success Agent Facebook page. Just shoot me a direct message. My email is chris.successagent@gmail.com. And JP, how can they get a hold of you?
You can get a hold of me at Weil Homes on Twitter. You can find me on the Titan Real Estate team page on Facebook or JP's real estate page. You can call me 307-772-1184 or send me a text. And I'm giving away 30-minute free coaching calls for those that are interested in taking their businesses to the next level. Also, you can just email me at james.fluellen@gmail.com. Or if none of those work for you, You can always go to Google and type in JP Fluellen. I think I'm one of 2 in the whole United States of America. So if you're not looking, you're not finding me. So yeah. So I'm everywhere on social. I'm on Insta. I'm on all those. I don't snap because I'm too old for that. But outside of that, I'm on everything else. So
Dude, age is a mindset. You're not too old
true.
for that. We're talking about
True.
Pokemon Go. Come on.
This is true. True. Gotta
Cool,
catch
guys.
them all, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Also, so as I kind of mentioned before, we are on multiple platforms. So, if you can't catch us live, of course, you can just catch us on the Facebook page. But if you want a little bit more, you just want the audio, you don't want to see our beautiful faces, you can catch us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, soon to be more. Just scroll down to the bottom of this. That's basically where it all is. And if you guys end up checking that out, please give us a rating. 5 stars if you really like it. And if there are things that you think we can improve, please let us know as well, because we're not just doing this for us. We're doing this for you. Until then, I'll talk to you later, man.
All right, man. Deuces.
See ya.